And RFK Jr. is thanking President-elect Trump on social media for nominating him and promising to free health agencies from what he calls the smothering cloud of corporate capture. I want to bring in ABC News medical contributor and epidemiologist John Brownstein for more. John, what are you hearing from your colleagues in medical and public health professions about this pick?
Yeah. Well, good morning, Diane. There is widespread concern among my colleagues, both in medical practice and public health, because of RFK Jr.'s history of promoting vaccine misinformation. And it really is the top conversation because, of course, these kinds of misinformation and rumors around vaccines can undermine trust in public health measures. And these controversies could overshadow evidence-based practices. And so there's a lot of just stress and apprehension about how this leadership can impact national health policies and overall public health confidence in our vaccine systems.
Is it just about messaging and potential doubt, or is it about the actual power that he would hold as HHS secretary if he's confirmed?
Right. It's well beyond misinformation. Kennedy would oversee agencies like CDC, FDA, and NIH and have direct impact on public health policy. That includes the nation's vaccination programs, drug approvals, research priorities. This is a $1.7 trillion budget that can have direct impact on the lives of Americans. And so this has a lot of influence on regulations and public health campaigns. So, of course, among these public health professionals that I'm close with, there is a lot of stress.
Now, Kennedy says that he's not anti-vaccine, that he's not for taking vaccines away, but that people ought to have a choice, and that he wants to provide Americans with transparency, with the data, so they can make the best choices for themselves and their family. What's your response to that?
Well, at face value, supporting choice makes sense, but the problem is that public health experts worry that it's promoting vaccine hesitancy and also lowering immunization rates. So the problem is, and we've talked about this so many times during COVID, you need herd immunity. You need enough people getting vaccinated to reduce the risk of outbreaks like measles or mumps in communities. And so when you reduce the numbers of people getting vaccinated, that puts everyone at risk, especially our most vulnerable. And this is why we really need accurate and science-based information that is prioritized as we make our public health decisions.
Now, Kennedy's also advocated for stricter regulations on ingredients used in processed foods like synthetic dyes, and he's garnered a lot of support on social media for that. What's your take on that?
Well, I think there's actually a lot of alignment around this. The idea around regulating dyes and harmful food ingredients, I think we can all get behind. We know that we have epidemics of chronic diseases in this country. So bringing back effective change in this domain is something that there is a lot of backing for. The problem is we need to be careful and with a lot of oversight and, again, with evidence as we make some of these important changes.
So what are the experts you're talking to most worried about with this pick, and where do you think he could bring about good change?
Right. So I think to the point of impacting policy without evidence is where we're the most concerned, right? Unproven theories, a move away from traditional medical practice, the reduction in vaccination campaigns, destabilizing public health programs. This is all a concern. On the flip side, there is a lot of support and sort of enthusiasm around changing the ways in which we are transparently putting out information from public health and reducing corporate influence. But we have to remember these health policies, as we have concern as rumors and misinformation comes, that will reduce trust in our health systems, and that ultimately is what people are very worried about with a confirmation of RFK Jr.
And John, I'm low on time, but why is that such a concern if people are skeptical about certain health-related matters?
Overall, skepticism is fine, but we have to remember that public health is really for supporting evidence. And so as long as we're putting out the right evidence, we're communicating all the right information to the public to make decisions for themselves. That is what we are trying to achieve. It's totally fine to be, to challenge data, but as long as the data is presented with context, and that is what we're especially worried about, that it'll just be data transparent without the information behind it that can help people make the right decisions for themselves.
All right, ABC News medical contributor, epidemiologist John Brownstein. We appreciate it, John. Thank you.
Thank you.